Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. White, and we're going to look at Notes AP2. That's Area and Perimeter, second section. This is called Trapped in the Zoid. We're going to look at area and perimeter of trapezoids. What's a trapezoid? Well, if you look at the four figures on the left versus the four figures on the right. Okay, the definition of a trapezoid is a four-sided polygon with exactly one pair of parallel sides. If we look at the quadrilaterals on the left, they have exactly one pair of parallel sides, symbolized by these blue little arrows. Okay. On the one in the middle, we have these two lines that are parallel, and the bases here for this one on the right. Okay, so the first one, to find the area and perimeter of a trapezoid. What we can do is take our trapezoid, and we're going to copy it and make a new one. Notice, if you put your finger on the trapezoid and drag it forward, you should get a copy. Just kidding. Okay. If you trace or kind of freehand draw, what we're going to do is we have a copy. I'm going to flip this. So I'm flipping it. Okay, so I have this copy of this one, but upside down. If I take that and I push it through so it mirrors image and matches up, what have we drawn? Okay, we have a parallelogram. If we think back to the first section on area and perimeter, okay, how do we get the area of a parallelogram? Well, we know the area is base times the height. Okay, so we need to figure out the base. Well, if I draw in these diagrams, okay, the new trapezoid that's upside down, okay, this top now from here green and here green, okay, this was originally B2. So that was the second base on the original, where the bottom now, which was base 1. And if I just draw this perpendicular line here, this is still the height. Okay, so this parallelogram, remember, we take the perpendicular height, which is still h, and then we times it by the base, which can either be this bottom or the top, which is all of this red here. Well, I can call that little b, but it's made up of two b's. It's made up of b2 and b1. So if I draw area, that is equal to, if I draw parentheses, if I take that first base and add it to the second base, you get the base of that parallelogram. And if we multiply by the height, that gives us our area. But if you remember, we don't want to actually find the area of a parallelogram. We want to find the area of a trapezoid. So how many trapezoids made up that parallelogram? 2. So we got to get back to the original trapezoid. Okay, so again, finding the area of a parallelogram we just found. But in order to get back to the trapezoid, we're going to have to take away this one, or basically divide by 2 trapezoids. So on number 3, is the area of the parallelogram the same as the original trapezoid? The answer is no. Okay, the original trapezoid is half of that parallelogram. So if we give that formula a little thinking here, we ended up finding that we had area is equal to B1 plus B2, which is really that base, times the height. But in order to get back to the trapezoid, we have to divide by 2. So there's our formula. Or we could write 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. That gives us our area of a trapezoid. Next page. So problems 5 through 8. We want to find the perimeter and the area of the trapezoids to the nearest tenth. Make sure you show all work. If we start off with, hopefully, the easier part. Perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the total distance around the entire figure. So if we just start at 7.8 and go counterclockwise, okay, we know we have to add 7.8 plus 10, 7.8 plus 16. Okay, we add those up, you end up getting 41.6, keeping units, centimeters. Now if we need to find the area, we need the base 1, base 2, we need the height, and then take half. So if I take the height right here, which is 6, just because it's a single number, and we're going to multiply that by base 1. Consider base 1 usually the top, or in this case it's flipped upside down, so base 1 usually is either the smaller end or the top. So we have 10 plus 16 times 6, which is the height, and then divide by 2. So you can do 6 times 26 divided by 2, or you can do half of 6, which is 3, times 26, and we should get 78 centimeters, remember, squared. Area is always square. Okay, let's do another one. 7. Again, find the perimeter. So if we start at 10, we need to add the total distance around. So we have 10 on that side. The bottom base is 20. We need to add this other side 10. And then add the top, which is 17. Add those together. Hopefully you get 57 inches. Now we're going to do area. Okay, let's again start with the height, which we have 9.3. So we're going to multiply 9.3 times the two bases added up. Hopefully you see that they are 17 and 20. Divide by 2. So we can go 9.3 times 37. Divide by 2, and you get 172 point, round to the nearest tenth, 1 inches squared. Awesome, Possum. All right, I want you to hit it. Pause. You're going to do 6 and 8. Perimeter, area. Check back with me in a few minutes. Go. All right, welcome back. Number 6, hopefully you got a perimeter of 40 centimeters. Hopefully you got an area of 88 centimeters squared. On 8, hopefully you added up the sides and got 38.5. Be careful not to add that 11.8. Not part of our trapezoid. And area was 76.7 centimeters squared. If you're still confused or not sure if you made a mistake, please check with your teacher as soon as possible. Number 9. Okay, now we need to find the shaded area. Okay, in order to find the shaded area, we have to look at what do I have? Well, looks like a swimming pool with all of the wavy lines. Okay, and then there's this, hopefully you see this triangle. So what we need to do is we're going to take the big picture and we're going to minus the small picture. Or in this case, the big picture, we're going to take that trapezoid and then we're going to find that area and then we're going to subtract the area of that triangle. So formula, if we take the height times base 1 plus base 2 and then divide by 2 minus the area of the triangle. Remember, it's base times height divided by 2. If we fill in the corresponding values that are equal to our variables, we know that the height of the trapezoid is 6 feet. Okay, base 1, we have 10 plus base 2, which is 14. And then we divide by 2 minus the base of the triangle. Over here, notice if we flip this on side, this red area, there's our base of the triangle, 6, times the height, which is 6, and then also divide by 2. We can go 6 times 24 divided by 2, or half of 6 is 3. 3 times 24 ends up giving us 72. And then we're going to minus 6 times 6 divided by 2, or half of 6 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Okay. 72 minus 18 gives us 54 centimeters squared. All right, number 10. Find x so that the numerical value of the area will equal the numerical value of the perimeter. So we want A area equal to P perimeter. So if we write the formulas down and then look at it, it might help. So the area formula for a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 times that height divided by 2. So we have B1 plus B2 divided by 2 times the height. That needs to be equal to the perimeter, which is everything added up. If we look at the perimeter, write that down, we have 6 plus 9 plus 7 plus x. So we have the right side. Let's fill in the numbers that correspond to the variables on the left. We have the height. The height is 4. B1 plus B2, we have x plus 9. And then we're going to divide by 2. And then set that equal to 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 plus 7 is 22 plus x. So we need to solve for x, because those need to be equal. So we wrote our equation, and now we're going to solve. Get rid of this fraction over here, or you can go 4 divided by 2. If I were going to solve, let's just, again, in order to get rid of the 2, let's multiply the left by 2, which means we also multiply the right by 2. The 2's cancel, and we're left with 4 times x plus 9, which is equal to 2 times 22 plus x. Use distributive property. We're to distribute and multiply, so 4x plus 36 should be equal to 44 plus 2x. Let's move the x's to the left. So if we subtract 2x, if I move the 36, so minus 36 over to the right, we're going to end up getting 2x equals 8, divide by 2, x equals 4. So we wrote our equation, and then we solved for x, and x ended up being 4. So that top base is 4 inches. All right, so hopefully you have a good understanding of area and perimeter for trapezoids. What we want to do now is you're going to end up practicing AP 2. Make sure as you go you make notes that what are you struggling on, if you have any questions or problems. If so, please see your teacher as soon as possible. Otherwise, always remember, do your best, forget the rest. Bye for now until AP 3.